If you bought a truck 30 years ago, it truly belonged to you. You held a physical key in your hand. The ignition was mechanical, and the system was simple. As long as the vehicle had fuel and spark, nothing could stop you from turning the key and driving away. But if you purchase a brand new vehicle coming off the assembly line in 2026, the situation is very different. You are not really owning the machine anymore. In many ways, you are only renting the software that allows it to operate. Hidden inside the 2021 Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act is a requirement directing regulators to develop technology that can detect impaired driving and limit vehicle operation if impairment is detected. Critics argue that this type of system could eventually allow computers inside vehicles to control when a car is allowed to operate. You can have every tool in your garage and decades of mechanical skill, but none of that matters when a software lock controls the system. Today, we are taking a close look at the 2026 kill switch mandate, how it threatens the future of independent mechanics, and why many people believe the next generation of cars is turning into a digital trap. Almost every large expansion of control in the auto industry begins with the same explanation: safety. In late 2021, Congress passed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Inside that legislation is a rule requiring new passenger vehicles to include advanced impaired driving detection technology. At first glance, that might sound like a basic breathalyzer system, but when engineers examined what it would actually take to enforce the rule automatically, the reality became far more complicated. The system is required to passively detect when a driver may be impaired. That means you are not blowing into a device or performing a test. Instead, the vehicle is constantly observing you. To do this, the vehicle would rely on infrared cameras that track eye movement, biometric sensors built into the steering wheel, and air sensors inside the cabin that analyze a driver's breath. If the onboard computer decides that the driver is impaired, or if the system makes a mistake, which modern vehicle software often does, it can cut power to the fuel pump or transmission. At that moment, your $90,000 truck effectively becomes useless. What makes this more concerning is that early testing has already revealed major problems. In 2023, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration conducted pilot programs using prototype impaired driving detection systems. The results showed extremely high rates of false alerts. Some drivers were flagged simply for rubbing their eyes. Others were flagged for checking their side mirrors too quickly. In several cases, sunglasses confused the infrared camera system. One participant reported that the system locked him out of his own vehicle at a gas station in the Nevada desert because it believed he was impaired. He was not drunk. He was simply exhausted after working a 12-hour shift. Now imagine a similar situation happening on a dark highway while your family is in the back seat. The computer misreads a signal, decides something is wrong, and suddenly the engine shuts down at highway speed. That is not just a safety feature. It creates serious risks and liability concerns. To understand how the industry reached this point, you have to look at what has quietly changed inside modern vehicles during the last decade. Just like the appliance industry replaced simple mechanical timers with fragile electronic boards, automakers have gradually removed physical connections from cars. The gas pedal used to be linked directly to the throttle body with a cable. Now, it operates through drive-by-wire electronics. The gear shifter once connected directly to the transmission. Today, it often sends a digital signal instead. Even braking systems are increasingly shifting toward brake-by-wire technology. The direct mechanical connection between driver and machine has slowly been replaced by electronic signals that can be controlled, modified, or shut off by software. In many ways, the modern vehicle has become a 7,000-pound smartphone, because most new vehicles now include a permanent cellular connection for over-the-air updates. Manufacturers maintain continuous access to the vehicle's computer systems. This connection cannot easily be removed. The hardware needed for a remote kill switch already exists in many vehicles today. The upcoming mandate simply requires manufacturers to implement the software that activates it. If this situation sounds familiar, it is because a similar conflict already happened in another industry. The farming industry encountered this problem years earlier. In 2015, John Deere argued in court that farmers did not fully own their tractors. Because the engine systems relied on proprietary software, The company claimed the farmer had only purchased a license to operate the equipment. If a software problem occurred, the farmer could not repair the machine himself. He could not use his own diagnostic tools or reset the system. Instead, he had to call a certified John Deere technician, pay rates that often reached $200 per hour, and sometimes wait days for assistance while his crops sat in the field. One wheat farmer from Montana testified that he lost an entire harvest worth about $80,000 when his combine entered diagnostic mode during a software update, and the closest dealer was 4 hours away. John Deere's response was simple. They said the update should have been scheduled during the off-season. Many critics believe this model is now being applied to the automotive world. The infrastructure bill does not create a completely new concept. Instead, it mirrors the same software-controlled ownership structure that companies like John Deere already introduced. You might wonder why major automakers are not strongly opposing this type of rule. The answer may be financial. The automotive industry is currently dealing with a serious affordability problem. Dealership lots are filled with vehicles priced around $80,000 that many middle-class buyers cannot afford. At the same time, loan defaults are increasing. Traditionally, repossessing a vehicle requires hiring a recovery service, towing the car, and dealing with possible confrontations. That process can cost banks thousands of dollars. With a remote shutdown system, the process becomes far simpler. A lender could disable a vehicle electronically without sending anyone to retrieve it. Instead of a tow truck arriving in the middle of the night, a vehicle could simply stop working one morning while sitting in a driveway. The owner might receive a message instructing them to contact the lender or surrender the vehicle. Another shift is happening at the same time, the subscription model. This change is already visible. In 2022, BMW began offering heated seats as a monthly subscription that cost about $18 per month. The heating elements were already installed in the vehicle, but access to them was locked behind software. If the customer stopped paying, the heated seats were remotely disabled. Toyota introduced a similar model with remote start functions, charging customers around $8 per month to use a feature that was previously included with the key fob. General Motors has also announced plans that beginning in 2026, many new vehicles will require active subscriptions for services connected to the OnStar system. Some features, including automatic crash response, may only function while the subscription remains active. When manufacturers can disable features remotely for missed payments, critics argue that disabling the entire vehicle becomes technically possible as well. This brings the discussion to another major issue, the right to repair. If a sensor failed on a 1998 Chevy truck, many owners simply replaced the part or bypassed the faulty component. A few tools and some mechanical knowledge were often enough to get the vehicle running again. Modern systems are very different. The biometric monitoring systems and advanced electronics in newer vehicles are deeply encrypted inside the engine control unit. Manufacturers describe this encryption as cybersecurity protection. Independent mechanics often see it as a way to limit outside repairs. If someone disconnects a cabin monitoring camera, the vehicle's computer can detect the change, trigger an error, and place the vehicle into limp mode, or prevent it from starting. At that point, there is little a traditional mechanic can do. The vehicle must be taken to a licensed dealership where a technician can access the encrypted system and reset the software. Diagnostic checks alone may cost well over $100 before any repair even begins. Critics argue that this system does more than reduce privacy. It also removes the owner's ability to maintain and repair their own property while creating a steady revenue stream for manufacturers. Because of these changes, some mechanics and experienced buyers are adopting a very different strategy. They are avoiding new vehicles entirely. Across the used vehicle market, a noticeable shift is happening. Many mechanics, contractors, and experienced drivers believe the golden era of the automobile has already passed. Vehicles built before roughly 2015, before constant cellular connectivity and highly encrypted infotainment systems became standard, are becoming more valuable. Some people are calling this the rise of the dumb car premium. These older vehicles rely more on mechanical systems and less on software control. Among the vehicles frequently mentioned by mechanics are the 2003 to 2007 Chevrolet Silverado equipped with the 5.3-liter V8 engine. These trucks use a mechanical throttle body, have no cellular connection, and replacement parts are widely available for low cost. Another example is the 1999 to 2006 Toyota Tundra with the 4.7-liter engine, one of Toyota's last fully analog full-size trucks. It uses a timing belt rather than a chain, allowing owners to control maintenance schedules without relying heavily on dealership service. Many diesel enthusiasts also favor the 2003 to 2012 Ram 2500 equipped with the 5.9-liter or 6.7-liter Cummins engines. These systems are known for their durability and can often be rebuilt by experienced owners with basic tools. The 2006 to 2011 Ford Crown Victoria is another vehicle that still attracts attention. It was one of the final body-on-frame V8 sedans, built without driver monitoring systems or permanent cellular connections, and it still benefits from a massive parts network originally developed for police fleets. Supporters of older vehicles say these machines represent something increasingly rare. They rely on physical keys, mechanical linkages, and systems that do not depend on wireless connections. In a world where vehicles are becoming more like connected devices, many drivers believe an analog truck or car may soon be the only way to ensure true ownership. Instead of trading reliable older vehicles for software-controlled replacements, some mechanics recommend maintaining what already works. Repair the rust. Rebuild the transmission. Keep the older engines running. Because in the near future, a well-maintained analog vehicle may be one of the last ways to keep full control of what you drive.